Hey everyone, how's it going? I am iamxeracon and I am back once again. Today we're going to be looking at John Garvin. He was the writer slash creative director for Days Gone, a game which has been making news as of lately, just because, it's not getting a sequel and also because, it's coming to Steam. But he's really put his foot in his mouth, and we're really just going to look at what a piece of work this guy is. So we're going to start off with an article here. Days Gone writer says, if you love a game, you should buy it full price. Don't complain if a game doesn't get a sequel if it wasn't supported at launch. The writer and creative director of Days Gone says that players shouldn't complain if a game doesn't get a sequel if they didn't buy it at full price. And we're going to skip down to where it gets a bit more juicier. I do have an opinion on something, and this is him, by the way, saying this. I do have an opinion on something that your audience may find of interest, and it may piss some of them off, Garvin said. If you love a game, buy it at full price. I can't tell you how many times I've seen gamers say, yeah, I got that on sale, I got it through PS Plus, whatever. Don't complain if a game doesn't get a sequel if it wasn't supported at launch, Garvin added. It's like God of War got whatever number millions of sales at launch, and Days Gone didn't. Just speaking for me personally as a developer, I don't work for Sony, I don't know what the numbers are. I can tell you that when we were doing Syphon Filter, Dark Mirror on PSP, we got so screwed on Dark Mirror because piracy was a thing, and Sony wasn't really caught on what piracy was doing to sales, Garvin explained. And we would show them torrents. A torrent site had 200,000 copies of Dark Mirror being downloaded. If I remember it right, the numbers could be wrong, but regardless, I was pissed about it then. I was like, this is money out of my pocket. So I think the uptick in engagement with the game is not as important as did you buy the game at full price? Because if you did, then that's supporting the developers directly. What the heck does that even supposed to mean? Like, seriously, how is buying a game on sale still not supporting the developers? I mean, seriously. And for that matter, like, if you're buying a game on sale, you're still giving them the money, or are you? Because that doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, based on what you're saying here, and granted, I was under the impression that it was that developers get paid, before the game, gets released and whatnot. I mean, I know that there's some things where they can get bonuses and whatnot, but just getting paid off the bat, they're supposed to be getting paid before the game gets released, not after it's released. So I don't know what's up with that. I mean, he's the insider, so I'm, going to assume he's correct in that matter. But, also if people are torrenting the game, it's not coming out of your pocket, because people are not stealing the actual games you've made. They're not going to the store, stealing your copies that you've put out in the store and, and just selling them and whatnot. So that doesn't make any sense. And and how are you also going to shift the fault shift the fault off yourself onto the consumers? Seriously, you're going to assume that maybe people just got into Dark Mirror later on and they had never even heard of the game to begin with. So if that's the case, how are you going to fault them? We never heard of your game before and we're only hearing about now, so of course it's not gonna be at full price. You're saying they're at fault for not buying a game they never even knew about to begin with. I mean, seriously, that's the same. Using that logic, it's my fault, that Metroid, is, well, I mean, it's getting a sequel, but that it's in the state that it's in. I mean, granted, I've only really heard about Metroid from, Smash Brothers, but when I first played Metroid, alright, it was in 2004, Zero Mission, alright, that was my very first title. I was 9 at the time, okay? I got that game. I mean, I didn't get it, it was bought for me by my parents and whatnot, but that was my first one, alright? So, I was, interested. I had no idea about other stuff that was going on. I had no idea about the Prime games. I just bought that one. Eventually, I got Prime and Prime 2 and whatnot. And I didn't get Prime 3 or Other M for a long time because I didn't have a Wii. And and by the time I actually was at the point where I actually could buy games myself because I had a job, that was when dare I say, that FF game came out and whatnot, and I'd already bought the other games and whatnot, and of course it wasn't even at full price, and heck, it wasn't even available for the general purpose purchase and stuff like that, because it was all just third party resellers, because it wasn't being sold in stores. So how are you going to fault me for not supporting the game when I had no idea about everything that was going on? That's just completely. That's a completely pretentious statement to make right here. But you know what? We're going to look further at some of his tweets because he even like try to like defend himself. He like tried to deflect more. So let's go to his tweets. This is what I said. If a game doesn't make money, it's probably not going to get a sequel. That's a financial, marketing, and business fact. I can't believe this is shocking news to some of you. Also, I wasn't even talking about Days Gone. I haven't been at Ben's studio in 2 years. I told Jeff I don't know what they were that we're working on. I don't know the financials. I was talking on my personal experience, talking about how piracy on the PSP hurt me financially. What I could have added is that anything that doesn't make money doesn't get supported. Vita, anyone? Again, I have no knowledge on the financials here. It's just common sense. Have you seen a movie that you loved but didn't pay to see, then wondered why it never got a sequel? So you do you. If you don't like a game, if it's buggy, if you listen to the reviewer's opinions, if you think games cost too much, more power to you. Just don't buy it on sale a year later, discover you love it, then wonder why a sequel never got made. Also, I've said some controversial things in the past. This ain't one of them. If something isn't profitable, it probably isn't going to get a sequel. Wow. I really can't believe this guy. Like, you're saying that you're really... So, let's go back up here a bit. Like, you're talking about, like, you said that you weren't talking about Days Gone to begin with. But if you go back to the article, you specifically mentioned, you mentioned Days Gone. You're most likely talking about it because of the fact that, that was a topic that was being brought up. It was a hot topic. It sort of still is a hot topic. I'm really not certain how you think that if Days Gone's not getting a sequel, it's because of the fans, because you also say you don't know what the financials are in this situation. Yet you're saying that it's not getting a sequel because it's not doing well. So I don't know what you're trying to say here, other than the fact that you're blaming the consumer for your incompetence, essentially, because the game was buggy. Like, you even said, like, if it's buggy, more power to you, and whatnot. So, you know what? Maybe that's why people didn't buy the game in the first place, you moron. Like, that's essentially what it is. Like, you are acting so smug and pretentious, but, like, your game was trash, alright? Seriously. It was buggy, that's why it got bad reviews. Was it patched? Yes, but you know what? You should not be expecting to pay full price for a buggy game. So that's on your end. That's your fault, and you screwed up the entire situation. And I'll just end it here with this. I will personally never support anything that this guy does ever. He's very pretentious. He's very self-centered. He's very self-righteous, and so I cannot and will not support anything he does. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't care if anything he does is even slightly decent. I just cannot support that man. So you do you and whatnot, and I will catch you all next time. So until then, I am iamxeracon signing off. Have a good one.